Okay, let's take a look at phase three of the pitching series. We've already taken a look at phase one, which is the windup and the stretch, and what exactly a balance position is, and then phase two focused on the power angle. Phase three is all about the stride, and a stride is simply the path that the pitcher takes towards home plate, or as Tom House likes to define it, stride is the route the pitcher's body and head take into foot strike, and that means where the front foot initially lands. Now it's really important to understand that when the front foot strikes the ground, that foot stabilizes the body, so it's very important that pitchers understand that that foot plays an important component in keeping the head only going in the direction of home plate. So at foot strike, if you're in a straight line to home plate, you are in great shape and you are home free with an excellent, efficient delivery. Here are some interesting statistics from the National Pitching Association. The average big leaguer strides 90% of his body height in inches, but what they have found is that the really elite big league pitchers tend to stride about 110% of their body height in inches. So in taking a look at the picture above, Roy Oswalt stands at 5 foot 9 inches, and his stride is about 110% of his body length in inches. So you're looking at a stride of 76.59 inches, which is the equivalent of somebody who's 6 foot 3. That is a pitcher that gets down the hill and gets closer to home plate. Notice too that he's striding in a straight line to home plate. He's not striding closed or opening up too early. So he's able to put all his energy into the baseball without any kind of energy leak. And this is one of the reasons why he's able to throw the ball in the mid-90s. Getting down the hill this far allows the pitcher to release the ball that much closer to home plate, which changes his perceived velocity viewed by the hitter. The pitch seems much faster than it probably really is. And as he finishes his pitch, you can see the amount of energy he puts into this pitch, all because he's efficient and straight to home plate. Here's a shot of Tim Lincecum of the Giants, and although I wouldn't necessarily teach his mechanics, I want you to pay particular attention to his stride length. As he comes out of leg kick, he really gets down the hill, and he's another one that uses about 110% of his body height in inches as the length of his stride. He gets down that hill and his perceived velocity is significantly higher than what's recorded on a radar gun. He still throws in the 90s, but hitters often say that his ball really jumps and it appears to come in a lot quicker than it really is. Let's take a look at when the front foot lands on the ground. We call it front foot strike. A lot of people ask me at this moment, is it better that you land on the ball of your foot or flat or on your heel? And the answer is all of the above. It is a non-teach if everything else is in order and all the things that we've discussed previous to this are in order and we're in a straight line to home plate. And you look at some of these guys like Mariano Rivera, CC Sabathia, comes out of leg lift and watch his front foot. As it strikes the ground, he's flat. So what works for him might be a little bit different for somebody else, but he stays in his straight line to home plate. Here's DeGrom, who again, I love his mechanics, but watch as he gets into foot strike. He leg lifts, power leans, and lands with his heel first. Again, a non-teach if everything else is in order and you're in a straight line. We go back to our shot of Roy Oswalt, who again is only 5 foot 9, but you'll watch as his front foot lands, he's going to land on his heel. So whether it's ball of the foot, heel, or flat, as long as you're in a straight line with home plate, you're in good shape. Okay, a couple issues we want to try to avoid as we get into our stride. Taking a look at this picture here, we have a pitcher that is at the top height of his leg lift. What you want to avoid at this point here is turning your knee or the toes of your front foot towards home plate at this point or even a little beyond this point. The front foot will eventually turn towards home plate, but that'll be closer to when the front foot strikes the ground, not prior to. So it's important then that for a right-handed pitcher, your knee at leg lift is pointing towards third base, left-handed pitcher knee pointed towards first base or in the area of. And when you go to drop your knee and get your power lean going towards home plate, the knee is staying in the same position, facing in the same direction. If this were to happen, we call it opening up too early or flying open, and that creates a severe energy leak, which takes away a lot of the momentum that a pitcher is building towards home plate, which will affect velocity, and it also will have an effect on accuracy. Let's go back to Cole Hamels as he gets into his delivery. From the windup, you'll notice when he goes to leg kick, as he turns on the pitcher's plate, his leg lifts, and watch the direction of his knee and his toe pointed towards first base. As he begins dropping his knee and gets closer to foot strike, that's when the front toe opens up towards home plate, but not prior to that. So he keeps himself coiled and energy can be delivered into the baseball at a maximum velocity. In this picture, we have two other issues that need to be addressed. Number one is that this pitcher does not get down the hill very far. His stride is actually very short, which does not allow him to build the momentum he needs to deliver a baseball with a lot of energy to home plate, therefore putting more strain on his arm. Second thing is, watch how his front leg collapses. You can see his thigh is almost parallel to the ground. Each time we land, there should be some flex in our front knee, but not to this degree. You need to really firmly stabilize your front knee so that it can absorb the energy when we go to release the ball. And we go back to Hamels one more time. As he leg lifts, watch his front knee. He drives towards home plate, and his front knee will have some flex in it, but it absorbs the energy and helps transmit it into the baseball and propels the ball forward. He doesn't fully collapse, and that also creates an energy leak. So all we really want out of our pitchers is for them to stride as far and as fast as they possibly can. And if balanced, energy is going to be put into the baseball, velocity and accuracy will be there, and perceived velocity will be higher than the actual velocity, which makes it tougher on the hitter. If we are not balanced, if we're not striding straight towards our target, the body will expend the energy trying to get us back to balance, and that could cause a risk of injury because it requires extra strength and effort. So let's stride straight and let's stay healthy.